Vivi, this is the facial expression challenge. Are you ready for the challenge?
I'm ready, Young.
Okay, give me the angry face. How about sad face? How about disappointment? Fear? Well, I'm happy.
It's pretty easy because I'm really happy because this is IFO Junior Edition.
The light is gone. Hi everyone, welcome to IFO Junior, and this is Saturday night for IFO Expert. And I'm so excited to be back and hope you guys have a great weekend. Alright, today's topic is super interesting and let's get right into it. Please take a look at the screen.
Hey, congrats on your Griffin Scholar graduation. I heard that you even earned some scholarships. That's hella cool.
Well, thanks. I was just informed about it.
Okay, so tell me about your CV preparation.
Well, we first had our online application where we need to submit our CV and personal statement. Our second stage, I believe, was the Math and English exam. But guess what? The most challenging one was definitely the interview that we got in our last phase.
Oh my god, there's a lot to unpack here, but I remember you working really hard to get these scholarships. So, your work has really paid off.
Well, actually, the process was kind of hard. I remember I was overwhelmed, but in the end, I made it. So I think it really boils down to having a clear strategy and a nice calm temper.
Okay, I'm glad for you.
Wow. So this episode is kind of special because, we were talking about a lot of things. Discipline, habits, time management, education, a lot of more things. And I think at this point, you guys are kind of fully equipped with what you need to reach further, to reach your goals. So what I mean by reaching further, you guys might go abroad to study and find yourself be immersed in a totally different multicultural learning environment and explore new things. And one of the most powerful tools for you to get closer to that dream is to get scholarship. So today's expert is not only a brilliant educator, but also a brilliant scholarship hunter who is so successful in hunting scholarship and also helping others to get the scholarship that they want. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Nguyễn Chí Hiếu. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
Please have a seat. How are you?
It's good. It's good to be back for the season 6 of IFO.
Oh, by the way, you are a very familiar face of BTV7. A lot of, shows, The Debaters, Chương, and now an official expert of IFO Junior. So thank you so much for once again joining us. And I read through your academic achievements and the scholarships you managed to get. I am so surprised and I really look up to you. How could you do that? Could you tell us more about your journey to the scholarships?
Let's take back, 20 years ago when I was like a grade 12 student in high school. I think back then at the back of my mind, I was never thinking about getting a scholarship, let alone getting a scholarship to study abroad. So I think the first scholarship came as more like a fortune cookie, dropping from the sky, and I just happened to be at the right time in the right place, and I just gladly catch it. So I think the first scholarship was a random thing. And then since then I went to the UK, I was more aware of the world and what opportunities existed in the world, and that is when I start to really consciously working really hard to achieve scholarship and after scholarship.
How many scholarships did you manage to get?
Okay. So I got, the first scholarship was to do A-levels in the UK. So that was the first scholarship for 2 years to A-levels. Then I got another full scholarship for my bachelor undergrad degree in London School of Economics.
Wow.
So that's the second scholarship. The third one I got is to do my PhD in Stanford. So that's the third one. The fourth one is when I was doing my PhD, there was another big scholarship from International Monetary Fund. So that's the fourth scholarship. And the fifth one is when I did my MBA, was at Oxford University. The sixth one was when I were already working as a professional.
Yes.
I got a scholarship to went to the US for 2 months to really learn from the true expert of the world in education. So those are like the big scholarships that fund my journey. There were a lot of other scholarships, a smaller one for like travel grants or like research grants or book scholarship or vacation. So I think I didn't work my way counting the number of scholarships I get, but more like really taking that as opportunity to grow myself. And also now I feel it's a privilege that I wish to give back to the younger generation so that they can enjoy a similar journey or even better journeys than I did in the past.
Wow. I think it makes totally sense that they call you a brilliant scholarship hunter in Vietnam. I mean, what's more for you? In every stage of education, you got a big scholarship along with a lot of minor scholarship as well, and it really opens up a door of opportunities for you and make who you are. So what do you think is the importance of scholarship for students? Is that necessary to have scholarship to go study abroad?
So I think if you are not from a very wealthy family, I think that is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. So I think for students who do not have a wealthy family background, scholarship is such a great privilege. It's a blessing, but for me, it's also a responsibility as well to give back. Because I think strange people give money to you so that you can have your once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's also a responsibility that you pay back in one way or another. So yes, if you're one of those students out there aspiring one day to be able to go to a university overseas to study under a scholarship, there are tons available out there for you to grab. Do you have the determination, the grit, and the passion to work beyond what is normally required of you at school, and really to have that at like your vision and focus and lock in that vision and work toward that goal? I think, as I often say, luck can happen to anyone, right? But miracles only happen to those who keep trying and trying when others have given up.
Wow, that's amazing. Very inspiring. A vast majority of young people that I met, and also I know that watching the show, they have a really strong desire to have a scholarship, regardless of their backgrounds. Even like wealthy families or not, they really want a scholarship. So what do you think are the scholarship opportunities right now in Vietnam?
As I had said earlier, scholarship opportunities are really a big, wide door open to almost anyone and everyone, you know. It's almost like every country you want to go and study, not just like US and Canada and UK and Australia and New Zealand. All the other countries have opened their doors with lots and lots of scholarships, both from private and public institutions that can generously support and fund for you. So I think 10 years earlier, 20 years earlier, back in my day and age, it was not like a very strong and popular concept. But today it is a very widespread. That's what I would say, like it's almost like there for you to grab. And do you have that mindset and that spirit to grab it or not? So I think if you decide to have that scholarship one day to go abroad to study, it's your game to win or lose. It's not other people's games, it's actually your game.
So how about the challenges in applying for a scholarship for Vietnamese students?
I think the first challenge lies within yourself first. The desire, the aspiration to get a scholarship is there, but does your stamina, your grit, your persistence match it? I usually say to my students, right, if you want something for 10%, make sure that your effort is 100%, you know? So if you want something, your effort needs to double that aspiration, that desire. And your persistence needs to like 3 times, 5 times that desire as well. So I think the first challenge is, do you have that long-term vision and long-term persistence within you? Do you have the character to work non-stop while the others are busy doing other things? You are here and focus and work on your goal. I think that is the first challenge. The second challenge is actually come from your confidence and your soft skills. I think a lot of students in Vietnam, very hardworking, very intelligent, great score achievers and great achievement in many other things as well. But when they confront an interviewer, sometimes or many times they cannot portray themselves across to the interviewer with confidence, not like with an ego, but like with the confidence that's needed in order to win the heart and the mind of the interviewer, and also like the soft skill as well. And I think the third challenge is the mindset. A lot of these scholarship interviewers, they're not necessarily looking for the best student and the most brilliant student in school. They're looking for the one that that has a strong mindset, an open mindset, a strong mindset, a critical thinking mindset, and even a creative mindset as well. So I think to wrap up, those 3 things I think are really important, which is your perseverance, your confidence and soft skill, and also your mindset as well. I think those things cannot be built within a day or overnight. It's something that has to be cultivated consciously and consistently for years.
So for a person who managed to get a scholarship, they must they must have an open-minded mindset so that they can win a scholarship, and along with a lot of factors as well. Welcome back to the next session of the talk with our expert, Mr. Chí Hiếu, about scholarship hunting. Let's talk about how to get a scholarship step by step. So can you take us through the application process, and what is the first baby step?
The first baby step, but actually is a giant step, and it takes probably the most amount of time of you to prepare for that, is your study, especially your English. I think nowadays people are very aware of how important English is, and there's a lot of investment into learning English from a young age, which is a good thing. But I think to really debunk the myth that as long as you speak English like a native speaker, you're in a good chance, I think that is such a big myth. I think English here is like, can you read in English? Can you do research in English? Is your knowledge of the world in English big enough and deep enough? I think really develop our skills in English, but more on a deeper level than just on a shallow level. Okay, and also in terms of learning, yes, you may come from different majors and you want to pursue different majors in high school or college or beyond, but your learning skills are what really matters. Are you a self-study person? Can you do self-research? Do you have the mindset of critical thinking and creativity? So all of those take a long time to prepare. And I think as long as you focus on building those skills, one day it's very easy for you to find a scholarship and apply to that, because a lot of people only spend 1 or 2 years preparing for scholarship, and that is not sufficient in terms of time in order to prepare your abilities when someone takes 5, 10, or 12 years to prepare for that. I think that is the first step, even before the process. Now, when you start the scholarship application process, yes, hunt around for scholarships. As I say, there's a jungle of scholarships out there. Find the one that A, you like, and B, they have the criteria that fit you, As I said earlier, some scholarship looking for a research mindset, some looking for a, entrepreneurial mindset, creative mindset, or like a community service mindset, Looking for those criteria will help you to do a sprint in terms of like, okay, I have like 3 or 6 months or a year left. How should I prepare my application profile, right? The next step will be, of course, after you fill in your application, there's, I think probably the toughest route, especially for the best and most privileged scholarship out there in the world, is the interview route. I think this is where your true person come out. Everything can look so great on the application,
That's right.
But when the kids step into the interview room, that person in person is the deal. So I think in the interview route, that is where every single thing about you will come to the front light. And so I think that is when your thinking comes to the front line. They look at not just your English speaking, but they look at your knowledge, your mindset, and also your characters as well. So I think to prepare for that interview route, and as I said, the biggest scholarship in the world always has an interview route, you know.
Wow.
And I think to get there, you cannot fake your personality within an hour or within a day, right? It's something you have to cultivate and build your characters and your mindset over years. So I think if you want to shoot for the moon, you know, which is the biggest scholarship from like the biggest institution in the world, I think about it as a long-term shot and prepare it from today. And I think with a long-term preparation, with a long-term vision, and a really holistic look at education is about the whole person development, right? It's not just about a score or a school name. Then I think every child and every student has the capacity to win a big scholarship one day. It just needs to have the direction and the guidance of parents and teachers to focus long-term development for students. Yeah.
It's a long-term process.
Yes.
So there is a common problem that I see in the scholarship hunters, including me, is that a lot of the students, they don't know where are their aspiration, and sometimes they have to fake it. So how could we know that we have an aspiration that is worth it, that is enough for the scholarship, and how can we know that we found our passion?
I think like finding your passion is a long-term journey, and there is no such thing as a fixed timeline for every single person. Every single one, either you believe in science or you believe in fate and destiny, right, will have their own time. You know, there's a timeline for each person here, and there's no clock that say, oh, you have to find your passion by 18 or 28 or 35, right? So I think be open to the beauty of possibility. Instead of like fixing a timeline on your own, I think that is like, first is that mindset first.
So there's a myth that we want to pose. If I have a perfect GPA and high test scores, I will be accepted and offered a full ride scholarship. What do you think? What is your opinion?
To a certain extent, this myth can be correct, but to a very small extent. Yes, if you have a perfect GPA and a high test score, you may tick some of the tick.
Yes.
That is not the whole picture. But if you only focus on GPA and test score and believing that a perfect GPA and a high test score is everything you need in order to get a full ride scholarship, then you are a fool. Okay? The reason is because perfect GPA and test score today are not something rare. It's very common, you know. Students today, they get 10 and 9 and perfect score because of all of the investment their parents put into the process. And it's very easy to get a 9 and 10 these days in school, right? Second thing is like, they are not just looking for a learning machine. They're looking for a person. And there is more thing to a person and his or her life than just GPA and high test score, you know. Do you have a passion that you follow for 10 years? Right? It's not like you going out there and just collecting random hobbies, but do you have something that you work on for the past 10 years beyond your studies? Piano, drawing, public speaking, debating, right? Those things, it shows the people who give you the scholarship more than just your test score and your perfect GPA, right? Another thing that you want to look at is your personality and your characters. A lot of students who are, you know, overachievers or perfect scorers in the eyes of a lot of the public, they fail miserably in the interview room because they come across as fake, inauthentic, or full of ego. And they even lack the art of communicating and getting to know the other side as well, you know. So there's more than just perfect GPA and high test score. If you have perfect GPA and high test score, great, you're on a good start. But that's not everything. And beware, because if you spend 100% of your time just focusing on your perfect GPA and your test score, you may lose the opportunity and the time to develop other things. You know, I was not the one who had the perfect GPA. I was not the best student in school. I didn't have high test score back in the days compared to many others. But I think the mindset and the characters and just being an authentic person in front of the interview guy, it really took me to a different horizon. And I think now I talk with some of the interviewers who interviewed me in the past. I say, why did you choose me?
Wow.
Back then. Say? And then they said something like, we actually did not care much about your achievements. Because when talking with you, we know that you are someone that if you're given this opportunity, you're gonna go really far because of your personality and your characters. So maybe you're not the best student in your school or in your country or in your university now, but one day you will be the last one standing and other people will give up quite early compared to you. And I take that as a reminder, but as a motivation to keep working hard. I think in the end, it's your attitude and your ethics that actually matter in the interview room as well. Yeah.
Attitude is a game changer.
Yep.
Always. So yep, attitude, aspiration, the greed, and be authentic and be who you are. So as you mentioned earlier, scholarship is a kick-off for the journey of learning. So what about the next step after you get the scholarship?
Yes, the first advice is actually what you just picked on, which is do not sleep on the victory, and do not let that scholarship become a haunting ghost, you know, which means like get over it, you know, do not sleep on that one. Watch out for your ego, and then focus on what got you to get the scholarship. You need to double or 3 times or 4 times that efforts, because to get the scholarship is not hard.
Yes.
To prove to others that you deserve that scholarship and to lay the foundation for the other scholarships to come in the future is more important.
Welcome back to the studio. This is Voice of the Week, where we're gonna showcase a lot of talents out there, young talents, with their presentation skills, with their critical thinking, public speaking skills, and this is a golden chance for them to showcase those and become a better version of themselves in terms of soft skills. So now please take a look at the screen and check it out.
Hi everyone, my name is Đức An. My nickname at home is Tom. I am 10 years old. I began learning English when I was very small. And a fun fact is, I actually learned Japanese at that time too. In total, I've been speaking English for about 8 to 9 years now. Now let's say you might be asking, what my dream job is? Or more simply, what I want to do in the future. I think it might be a little bit too early for me to decide now. But I still want to explore what I can and cannot do, my strengths and weaknesses, so I could decide better. But for now, I think it would be something related to app building and technology, since that is what I am focusing on. So if you share the same thoughts or interests, I'd be happy if we could be friends.
Welcome to the stage, Đức An, casting today. How are you? I'm doing good. So you look really confident. Are you familiar with public speaking?
Yeah, kind of.
Your English is really good. I admire that. How did you learn English?
Well, I just started learning it when I was very small, like about 2 years old. So I've been speaking English for about like 9 years total now.
Wow, that's amazing. And have you prepared for the prompt?
Kind of.
Okay, so are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, off you go to the stage. The prompt for today is, my biggest concern for the future is... Listen to Đức An, please.
Many people worry about things like study, entertainment, or business. But the main concern for many right now is health, even for a kid like me. I look at my family and I see my mother, who should be in Singapore working at her office right now. But where is she? In Hanoi, working day and night with her computer. Online all the time. I too am online all the time. Because why? The answer is COVID-19. My main concern for the near future is COVID-19, or you might know it as the coronavirus. Now, scientists are definitely developing a vaccine for this virus, but even if we develop such a vaccine, not everyone would willingly take it. And it would take at least a year for the literal whole world to get vaccinated. There are 7 billion people out there, maybe even close to 8 billion now. Secondly, I'm concerned about my school. What about my friends? I can't meet with them, I can't talk with them, I can't interact with them directly. Or let's say the class in general too. We would have to stay apart, we'd have to wear masks basically the whole day. Teachers would also have a problem. They won't be able to go to in-person meetings and talk about the classes in the most effective way. Thirdly, I am concerned for my family. My grandparents are getting older and they are in the most vulnerable groups since their immune system is declining. My parents also have to work to support the family. They have to run the risk by meeting their colleagues and partners. Overall, my main concern is the impact that the coronavirus can cause on my community, my family, and my school. But I would not want to worry about the things that I can't control and focus on the things that I can do the best in the new normal.
Brilliant. So, Mr. Hiếu, do you have any follow-up questions?
Okay, I have. The first questions I want to ask you is, during the COVID-19, of course, it's a very serious problem,
Yep.
but what can you do for yourself first in order to protect your health and for your safety?
Okay, so first off, I think I should eat healthy and I should exercise at home, do stretching, do whatever I can at home to stay healthy. And in general, I think I should just try to stay healthy when I'm isolated at home.
That's pretty okay. How about the next question?
The next question is, let's think a little bit broader and say, as a person or citizen in the society, what can you do in order to benefit the community and other people as well in the COVID-19?
I could spread awareness around of the COVID-19 and let's say advise people to do this and do that. And when I'm outside, I should wear my mask, I should distance myself from people, and yeah, that's basically it.
That's very nice. But I think general is a good presentation. So don't worry, Đức Anh. Now you're already standing a chance of winning a 2-week summer camp in the UK.
Yep.
If you win Voice of the Year, because you are already a contestant now. So would you like to take a look at the screen about the prize?
Yep.
Please. Đức Anh, you are really brilliant. I like your presentation in general.
Thank you.
How do you feel now?
I feel a bit less nervous, I feel more confident, but I still think I could do better the next time I try to present something.
That's right, totally true. I wholeheartedly believe that you can do the best next time and maybe become a very, very good presenter and a good person in public speaking. Okay, so anh Hiếu, would you mind summarizing a little bit about the topic today for the audience?
So scholarships are always out there for you to grab. Make sure that do not wait until that final time to do something, you know. Work on that, building yourself, not just in terms of knowledge, English skill, but also in terms of characters and mindset as well for a long time to go. When you have that vision, make sure you lock your eyes on that vision. Be persevere and also have that grit to go and pursue that scholarship. When you get the scholarship, the next thing you do is not to sleep on the scholarship, but to work on the next goal. It takes a lot of effort, perseverance, grit, aspiration, and humility to go step and step and step. And I wish you all the best in preparing to get that one dream scholarship you have aspired for your entire life. And you will get it and you will do it.
You will get it and you will do it. I do believe so. I hope that all of us can be able to get a scholarship and then go study abroad and explore new things and contribute more to the homeland. And if you like the presentation of Đức Anh, please vote for him because he will maybe win the Voice of the Year. So thank you so much for watching this episode and we will see you guys next time. Bye!